Hi guys, how are you? Welcome back to my garden. I want to plant some blueberries here in my brand new kitchen garden today because next to strawberries, blueberries are really one of my favorite fruit and I use them almost every single day. I already have 3 shrubs in the upper kitchen garden, but since I have this entire brand new area here that I want to fill with some really beautiful and fun things, I have a lot of opportunities and I really want to amp up my game. So I have 5 more blueberry shrubs that I want to put in an area here. So how I want to structure today's video is, first of all, I want to tour you around and quickly show you how this entire area works and where I want to put the blueberries. Then I really want to put them in the ground together with you and give you all the details that you need about this specific variety and why I chose this variety, but I mainly want to focus on soil because if you want to grow blueberries in your own garden, it is so important that you give them the right soil conditions because only then you're going to have really bushy, healthy plants and also going to have a really wonderful harvest out of them. Once in the ground, I want to water them in, mulch them in, and then towards the end of the video, I'm going to be so happy that I'm one step closer into developing this entire new area of my garden. So hope you're excited to join us in the garden today again. This is my brand new kitchen garden, and just in case if this is the first video you ever discover from my account, I already took you with me on the journey on how I developed this entire area, how it looked half a year ago and what I already did in here, so definitely worth going to my history of videos and check out what we already did and planted here together, because I just posted a video on how I grow cherry trees as espaliers or how I want to train them into espaliers. Also did a video about planting strawberries and what is a good variety of strawberry, and as you can see, there's the first bloom opening. I'm so happy about it. I already saw the first bee, and then more flower buds are appearing just down here and with all of the plants, so they're definitely just getting established. I think they're very happy in this area here. Always with me in the garden, Alfie. She's feeling a little hot now when the sun comes out, and there is a stick. This is like our constant friend in the garden, and she's hoping that I'm going to play with her in a moment. But this is where I want to plant today. And if you've seen my previous videos, you might have realized there is an area here and the soil suddenly looks different, and there is a reason for it. So what I did is I came in and I dug a trench, or more like a ditch, to be honest, because it is quite big. It's probably 2 meters in length and 80 to 90 centimeters in width. And the reason is that here I have quite sandy soil, which is quite typical for the south coast of the Baltic Sea. And blueberries, they really love to thrive in acidic soil. So what I do is I put some of my homegrown leaf compost in here, which is this really, if we just get it with my hands in here, we just had rain, but it's really lovely, crumbly, very dark. It smells good. This is just like a very nice fertile soil and perfect for growing any kind of blueberries in your garden. Then here are my blueberry shrubs, 5 in total, and they come with a label, so I can give you the name. The variety is called Chandler, so this is the moment if you want to take a screenshot. All of the plants are looking really good and healthy. They're already starting to leaf out, which makes me really happy. So it's always a good time to buy the plants when you see first leaves appearing, so you see that all the branches are definitely fresh and vital. What you definitely want to have if you don't have the right soil condition to grow blueberries is this. You want to buy some special soil, a potting mix for blueberries. And what I'm going to do now is I take these 2 bags and just distribute them here. Really mix them with the compost to make sure that I have a really nice, lovely texture and a nice mixture of the soil for the blueberries and then my compost. And then I want to give you some information about these varieties. Even the sun came out now for planting, totally unexpected because the weather forecast was anything but sunny for today, but I'm not going to complain. You can't see it now, but Alfie is just lying there in the straw, completely stretching out and enjoying the beautiful warm sunshine today. I think you could see fairly well how I prepared the soil in this entire area now. So I've really dug everything under. I distributed the 2 bags of special blueberry soil evenly, and then I mixed it everything. So now I have a really lovely mixture of the native sandy soil, of my homegrown leaf compost, and of the blueberry soil. What I did then is I trampled over it to really firm it in, because the leaf compost and the blueberry soil, they're very lofty. And what I don't want is if I plant everything level now and then after a rain shower, everything is going to sink down. And if it goes bad, what might happen is that the container is going to stick up a little bit above ground level, and this is not what I want. I really want to make sure that they are planted that level, and I'm going to tell you later why this is pretty important. So if you grow blueberries, obviously you want to grow them for fruit production, but I think blueberries, they really can give you something additional as a benefit, because depending on what variety you grow, they can really make beautiful shrubs, and this one does it. They have lovely green leaves throughout summer, and then in autumn those leaves are going to change color to a crimson tone, which is going to look so beautiful, because once the harvest season is over, then comes October, and then I'm going to have a really wonderful drift of crimson foliage here, which I can't wait for. Speaking of shrub and size, blueberries, they can really vary in size. This variety, Chandler, can grow to quite a substantial size if you allow it. So it can grow to 1.50 meters in width and in height. I do have a lot of space, but I don't have that much space. So I'm definitely going to come in every now and then with my secateurs and prune it back a little bit, because I really want to have a little size control. So I think in total, I'm going to allow them to grow maybe like 80 centimeters, at most a meter in height, and then really see how much they can grow into another, because the one thing that you don't want to have with any kind of hardwoods is that the branches are crisscrossing and dropping on another, because then you allow damage and eventually fungal disease to come into your blueberries. Blueberries also flower very pretty. They are going to flower in like a wide kind of light pinkish tone apparently. I've never seen this variety in flowers, so I'm really excited myself on what to expect out of them. The one thing you have to know though, and this is where I'm like, oh, let's see when I'm going to harvest the first time, because it's sad that when you plant them, you can expect fruit after 3 years. But these look quite matured already. I mean, they are not tiny itty bitty plants. So I think that they are at least 2-3 years old already. So honestly hoping that I can already harvest at least a little bit this year. I'm going to give you updates. The reason on why I chose this variety, it really had to do with the growing habit, also with the leaves, but mainly with the fruit in itself, because the fruit can be really big. A single blueberry can be 2 centimeters in diameter, and this also explains why this is a late fruiting variety. So depending on your climate zone, if you are in a warmer climate zone, you might start harvesting already in mid and July, but here I know that my harvesting is going to start probably at one point in mid-August, and then it takes on 4 to 6 weeks, obviously always depending on the weather situation. The fruit itself, it is sweet, but it has a little bit of an acidity in it, which makes it perfect not only to eat them like fresh from your shrub and sprinkle them over your porridge in the morning, but also if you want to bake with them, or if you want to preserve them, you can even freeze them. So just a really good, perfect variety. I told you that I prepared the soil here, and the reason for it is very easy, because blueberries, they need to thrive in acidic soil. So if you have alkaline soil, this is really bad news, and you really have to dig out a big area and replace the entire soil. They also don't really love very heavy clay soil. This is also a little bit problematic. I have neutral soil, which is also not ideal, so that is recommended to really improve the soil. If you have alkaline soil and you feel like it's just too much work to really dig out an entire area and do all of that, you can put blueberries very easily in a container and grow them there. They do very good there, they're very happy there. And the lovely thing, if you decide to do a variety like this one in a container, in autumn time on a terrace, you will even have the beautiful crimson foliage, which is wonderful. Now, why is it so important that I trampled in the soil and make sure that these plants are going to sit level in here? And now's the point when I start planting them for once now. The reason has to do with the roots. So whatever you plant in your garden, you always want to make sure that you know what kind of root a plant has. Plants can have like taproot, plants can have like heart-shaped roots, plants can have shallow roots. And blueberries, they have shallow roots, which makes that they have quite fibrous roots. And if I take them out of the container, you will very easily see that there is a big fiber here. It is not necessarily pot bound. Pot bound means that you have fleshy roots growing round and round. This is just how blueberries work. What I would do though is try to find some of the bigger and fleshier roots and try to tease them out gently, really gently. I don't want to break too much of it, so that I encourage this plant to grow outwards, especially at the bottom, but I don't want to break it really. So I'm just going to do a little bit, and then it goes as it grow in the container straight in here. It's a little too deep, like that. This looks perfect. And then just firm it in. I need to make sure the way I plant it now I'm not blocking the cold frame. So we can always have a nice easy access to the cold frame, and in it is in the ground. Very easy, very fast. Biggest amount of time really went into amending the soil and make sure that the soil is really prepared well. The way on how I put them here, kind of in a chevron, so there are 3 plants there and then 2 plants here. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or like a zigzag, to make sure that they have good amount of space to grow in and to really just like establish a little bit. So the shallow roots now, they will grow outwards, and this is why I really made sure that I have a massive huge planting hole for them, so they really have a lot of good soil and a good acidic soil where they just love to thrive in. So what I will do now is plant the last 5 of them. I'm going to mulch it, I'm going to water it, and then I'm going to call it a garden day. With the blueberries in the ground, I feel like I'm one step further into developing this entire area, and I think that they should be really off for a flying start. With the perfect soil mix, I mulch them, I water them in, so now they really need to take care of themselves. I wish that they had leaves though, because then I would have a bigger before and after impact, but still I think that they are really cute little plants. And what you can see on some of them, let me just find you, here's a good example. They already start to produce some flower buds, so I think that I might even get some fruit later on in the year. 2 things that I forgot to mention, which is really important actually now showing you the bud, is that this variety is self-fertile, which means that you don't need to have a second or a third shrub. One can do the job, so this is also why it is just a perfect blueberry to grow in a container, and even if you just want to put it on your balcony, it should be very happy there. Second thing is, these blueberries, they love to thrive in partly shade or full sun, and this is exactly what they get in this area here. There's a southwest facing in my back. There is a tree that might cast a little bit of shade throughout noontime, but that is not a big deal. Look who's now looking for some shade here. Alfie's like, I had enough of the heat. Now I want to cool down. So perfect that there is a little willow fence, but I think Alfie and I are going to play now a little bit because this job is done. You guys, that is it for today's video. I just decided to say bye to you here from a main entrance area of the house. I'm sitting amongst all of these lovely spring pots that I did in one of my previous videos with you, because I really love to show you how they keep on going. Like the hyacinth, they are in bloom now. When we potted them, they were still in their bud stage, and everything is just filled with like joy and the scent of spring. And looking at it, I think that I'm missing this in the vegetable garden. So I can literally smell a potting video is on its way. But that's going to happen another day, because Alfie and I, we are going to go into the garden now, play a little bit, enjoy the rest of the day and the beautiful sunshine. So all I can say now is thank you so much for watching today's video. Thank you if you decide to subscribe to my channel, or if you give me a thumbs up, and I would honestly love to welcome you next time around in my garden. Take care guys, bye.